Welcome to, or welcome back to, the Agatha May Detective Agency. I'm Agatha May, and it's time for another episode about Walker County, Alabama. This series started with the tragic death of Tony Mitchell, who died from abuse while incarcerated at the Walker County Jail, and it just keeps spinning off into more and more corruption. I'll leave a link to the playlist that includes all of the episodes thus far. Everyone, meet the coroner of Walker County, Alabama, Joseph Lee Vick Sr. He goes by Joey, so I guess that's one of the names we'll use. Joey's married to Jennifer, who is an RN. They have 4 children and 7 grandchildren. Joey has been coroner of Walker County since 2002. Before that, or maybe even during, who knows, Joey worked as an investigator with the Walker County Sheriff's Department and also worked for 8 years at the Jasper Police Department. But when JoJo isn't pronouncing people dead, he's preaching, or at least he was. He was once pastor at Nauvoo Church of God, and more recently pastor at Living Light Church of God in Jasper, Alabama. Joey announced last year that he decided to retire from preaching, and everyone congratulated him, never questioning why it was such a sudden decision. Well, it turns out his retirement was a big fat honkin' lie. According to a Walker County local, leaders from the Church of God International Executive Council, which is the governing body of the Church of God, with a name that is entirely too long, confronted Joey about multiple allegations of sexual assault and asked him to voluntarily relinquish his credentials with the Church of God. More than 5 women have come forward so far with the same allegations, and some were minors when they were assaulted by Joey. I read an account from one of the women who he had assaulted when she was a minor. I don't want to use her name, but what she wrote was absolutely heartbreaking. Ryan Cagle is the citizen who outed Joey Vick. Ryan is running for Senate, and although I don't think that's any reason why he's speaking out about Joey, I thought I'd mention it anyway. Ryan had a phone conversation with Terry Hart last year and recorded it. Terry Hart is the former Church of God state administrative bishop over Alabama. One of Joey Vick's assault victims had reached out to Ryan to tell him about the assault, and that's what led to the conversation between Ryan and Hart. Once Ryan learned that more women had allegations against Joey Vick, he decided to make the conversation public. He didn't feel as though the Church of God Executive Council did enough by just quietly requesting the forfeiture of Joey's credentials and letting him lie his face off about retiring. And he is 100% right. And what does Living Light Church think about the allegations against Joey? Who knows? It's possible the leaders there weren't even informed of the allegations. The Executive Council might have just tried to keep it as quiet as possible, because why cause a big fuss when you can just sweep it under the rug? You know who keeping it quiet helps? The Executive Council and the alleged perpetrator. It sure as shootin' doesn't do any good for the victims, the ones who actually matter in this. They are the ones who should have people standing up for them and speaking out for them and pointing all of their fingers at the perpetrator. During the conversation, Terry Hart stated that the woman who talked to Ryan wasn't the only one, and that he thought what they'd heard about was only the surface of what was going on with Joey Vick. He also said that Joey had admitted to at least one of the allegations. Then old Tear Bear referred to Joey Vick's sexual assaults as unbecoming conduct. That's what he said Joey was guilty of. Not sexual assault, unbecoming conduct. He reassured Ryan that Joey would never be able to preach again in any Church of God. Well, who gives a flying fig, Terry? He can preach at any other church he wants to. You know what he needs to do? Be charged with sexual assault. Why didn't Terry call the police and report what happened? Let them sort it out. Instead, Joey has been able to live for the past year with everyone thinking things were just hunky-dory and he'd merely made a sudden decision to retire. I'm wondering if his wife is going to be a decent mother and grandmother and kick Vick in the stick, or if she's going to stand by him. Does she believe the women who have accused Joey, or does she think they're lying? Did she even know about the allegations before now? Or did Joey lie to her like he lied to everyone else? And you know who Joey's buddies with? Walker County Sheriff Slick Nick Smith. They are pals, cohorts, teammates, chums. They even have the same middle name. How absolutely precious is that? I'll bet Nick calls Joey Broy. They both attend Living Light Church of God, and they take inmates from the jail to their church and have them get baptized, then brag online about how great they are for doing so. You'd think Nick would issue some kind of statement about the allegations against Joey, but that hasn't happened. Probably because Nick has been too busy playing wiffle ball and doing other important sheriff stuff. I reached out to the sheriff's department on Facebook asking if they had a statement to make about Joey, but as of this video, I haven't received an answer from them. Nick's little empire is collapsing around his feet, but he doesn't let that bother him. I think he might be trying to go for the record for having the most employees who caught federal charges. Well, you go, Nick. On Tuesday, April 15th, former Walker County jailer Betty Jo Cooley was at court for sentencing after pleading guilty to falsifying records. This isn't even one of the many jailers who have been indicted in Tony Mitchell's death. This is a completely different case. Betty Jo watched an Officer Jones hit an inmate in the face with a can of pepper spray, and he was hit hard enough that the nozzle was knocked off the can, and that exposed all of them in the cell to the contents of the can. So Betty Jo and Officer Jones had to complete a report about it, and they decided to lie about what really happened. Betty Jo has already pleaded guilty, and part of her plea that she agreed to was that she wouldn't receive longer than 10 months in prison. Well, when she went to court for her sentencing, District Judge Anne Marie Axon rejected the 10-month cap and told Betty Jo that she was looking at 24 to 36 months in prison. She's allowing Betty to decide if she wants to move forward with sentencing this summer or take the case to a jury trial. I haven't found out who Officer Jones is yet. The plea agreement just has Officer Jones. Maybe Officer is his first name. Sorry Nick couldn't be there for you at court, Betty Jo. He was probably busy with something important like a hopscotch tournament. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe as this helps my channel grow. Until next time, stay safe and be happy.